check. Well, you got to wait like 10 seconds to see if it will. Well, yeah, but I'm saying you got to wait like 10 seconds for, because it's a delay. There's a delay when you're streaming, you know? Robbie Cheese. Yeah, you ever stream before? Come on, bro. Any social. Literally, scenes on a PlayStation. Hey, does he have a? No, he probably doesn't have one for the PS5. You used to have a PlayStation camera, didn't you? You do have one? That would be hilarious if that's if that's what you did. Oh my gosh. Yes. I think we can all be heard. I don't know if you're the Enigma anymore, Zane. Like we've been saying, you've been on a lot of podcast episodes in the past year. Max might be the new Enigma, honestly. All right, let's do a sound off here and check in. If you're in chat, let us know. We got SOC in chat. Let us know if you can hear everybody. Isaac, go ahead. Max, can we hear you? I can hear you. Mark. Zane. Jarrett. And Robbie. It says Joy Flyer says I'm the only one she can hear. Let me see if I can figure this out here. Desktop audio. Yeah, well, when you do it one time a year, it's just. Can I just. Here, I'm going to do this. Discord audio 2. It's not. I don't know, for some reason, that's not popping up either. Can't help it. He can't help it. Okay. No one else can be heard. Okay, well, we're going to have to just add a output capture, desktop audio. All right. How's that, people? Can we hear this now? You definitely did. Yeah, everybody talk all at once. Everybody talk all at once. I'm singing. And nobody else. Okay, I'm going to wait another 5 seconds to see if the delay comes through. Nothing changed. Why? I don't get it. Desktop audio. You should be talking so people can figure out why this is not working. No, that's not the output. Music. Well, thank you guys for bearing with us as we work through our audio issues, as we often do on the Infinity Bros podcast. Technical difficulties. If you at any point hear anybody besides me, let me know, because I'm like trying everything here. I don't know what else to do. I don't know, guys. That probably sounds even worse without any other audio. Okay, desktop audio. I think I'm going to remove that. let's do this. Audio output capture. There we go. Discord audio.
Was that what?
Say something.
Okay. And
I can't hear you. Jared's singing over you.
Should I open the collector's booster today?
There we go.
Yes, please.
Hey, there we
well.
go. I think I might have figured it out.
Now.
Oh, we're starting the podcast already.
Dude, that's $150.
Ooh, hear people. Okay, sound up. Hear them. Okay, do they sound echoey or
Should I
not?
just open this and just
Sound echoey?
Hey, Christ, what's up, buddy?
Or is it just everybody talking at the same time because that's what the Infinity Bros do?
Yeah, we're awful at this. This is why we don't go live much.
No echo. Great. Okay.
Hey,
That's a great sound
that was
effect.
good.
Please
That
use
was good.
that.
That was good.
No feedback.
Good
Great.
job,
Okay.
Max.
Okay. Sounds good. So, yeah, there we go. We got them all sorted out.
We got the audio.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for bearing with us. We're going to get going with the 2024 Stanley Awards very soon. But I'm just working on a few things here. I could be lower. They could be turned up. Let me just do that here. Turn them up. Dialed in. There we go.
Straight cash, homie.
I'll turn myself
Straight cash,
down
homie.
a little bit.
Turn
Boom.
down,
Let's see if
turn
that.
up, turn
All right.
off.
How's the balancing, everybody? Okay, now we're gonna do sound check for real, and for this one we're gonna do. Let's see. What's your favorite color, Mark?
Yellow.
Yellow. Ooh. Max, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Purple. Okay. Robbie?
Black, like my soul.
That sounds about right. Jarrett?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of dark chocolate brown, the color of Max's eyes.
Oh.
There it is. And Zane?
So fast.
Hey, I'm trying to do my mic check here, Robbie. My favorite color is orange. Okay?
Okay.
If Rob would stop
Gross.
talking.
That's a terrible
Talk
color.
about
Zane
me after
is,
day.
for some
Zane.
godforsaken reason, joining us from his PlayStation 5. So here we
The
go.
man owns a computer too, which is like
The man owns a loft, and he's out here on his PlayStation 5 using Discord chat.
He owns
That's
a
so-
loft. All right. And then Scry Society says if we could get one single pure C note from everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
I don't know what a C note is.
I don't have $100.
I don't know where C note is. Is that high, low? I don't know.
oh, that was beautiful.
Wow.
That was perfect.
Yeah, there it is. All right. Sound check. Sound check over. Trying to get rivals in? Yeah, let's go, LJ. All right, so Chad.
Yeah,
just
let's
for
play it
your-
right now.
Yeah, all right, like ditch this. Let's just
I'm
play
ready.
rivals right now.
I'm ready.
Honestly,
Just
that's
come
the
through our
reason
list
we've
and
not
about
put
an
out
hour of
that
all
many
the play.
podcast episodes for the last 3 months because we've all been just addicted to rivals for sure.
It's true.
LJ says Zane's probably playing rivals right now. He might be.
I'll
Honestly,
never
that's-
tell.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
Yes, Nav.
LJ gets it.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He does get it. All right. So just for heads up for you watching, thank you so much for joining us for this. It's probably going to be a little bit lower interaction on the chat side so we can get through this because on years past, this episode has taken us like almost 3 hours because we have a lot of lists to get through. So low chat interaction. But before we get started, make sure everybody types !ticket in the chat. I believe it's just on Twitch. So if you're joining us on other socials, you'll have to head to Twitch to get in on the giveaway. !ticket to get in on the Infinity Bros giveaway. And let me just double check. Oh, yep, that's working. Everybody that just entered is in. So,
Nice.
Perfect. And that
Yeah,
is for
Isaac, I will be chatting on. I'll chat on the chat.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
on
Robbie can
Twitch,
chat
so
on
we
the
can
chat
have some
side of
interaction there.
things, so we can,
And Jarrett's there too as the Infinity Bear. So
I will be chatting on PlayStation if anyone's live there.
Oh my god.
if anyone wants to party up over on PlayStation, join me over there, guys. I am so upset with you. I can't even explain this right
Wait,
now.
are you gonna play a legitimate game? Is that what you're gonna do right now?
That is what he's doing right now. It's kind of insane. I respect the game, honestly. I respect
I
it.
might turn my PS5 on just to see if Zane's playing.
Genuinely upset that he is on his
Hold
PlayStation
on,
right
I'll pull it
now.
up in the app.
All right, and that giveaway is for one item from the Infinity Bros store, which, you know, honestly, I thought we had a command for it at some point. I don't even know if we do anymore. I'm gonna check and see if we do store.
Zane is
Sure.
playing.
Nope.
We
It
used
says
to,
no
and yeah, we
items.
haven't updated any of that
We
stuff.
have not done anything
we're-
with Twitch for a long time, so it's been,
Isaac, just so you know, we're not live on Facebook. I don't know what was going on with that, but we're live on
Okay.
YouTube and on Twitch.
All right. Well, that's okay. YouTube and
That's
Twitch
fine.
are the big ones, I think. So, all right, guys, are you guys ready to get going? Are we ready?
Let's go.
All right. All right, here we go. So we're kind of just doing a fresh restart for the audio side of things. I do minimal editing for this episode. Full disclosure, I pretty much just cut it straight from this and go straight to, unless like Mark drops a swear word or something like that. I don't know. Well, maybe
Isaac, can we just call out Zane for eating Taco Bell right now? He's doing something. He's
doing something.
He's got a
Hey,
Baja
let's have
Blast.
another
He's
episode of
shaking
What
it around
is
in the microphone.
Zane
I just
Eating?
What's Zane eating today?
Give me $1 if you can guess what I'm eating.
Is
I'm
it
gonna
Taco Bell?
guess.
EP Fritos
No.
burrito.
I'm gonna
No.
guess. He is
peanuts.
having Wendy's.
Nope.
Okay, not
We're
Wendy's.
having a Caesar salad and some kale.
Some
No.
kale,
Sounds
kale
really
chips.
good, actually.
Kale chips, yeah.
No.
Wendy's
Max,
is a
guess?
guess from
I said
Kat?
Wendy's.
Oh, you did say Wendy's.
No.
Um,
No. You guys are all way off.
Grilled steak burrito.
Oh, that sounds delicious, but no.
Grilled cheesesteak.
Did your
grilled cheesesteak
your
burrito
future
sounds
wife
delicious.
Annika
No.
make you a Crunchwrap Supreme from home?
No, but that sounds delicious.
Yeah, she would. She's a great lady.
Oh
I
my
have
gosh,
had
she's
homemade
fantastic.
Crunch Wraps before, and they're delicious.
Caesar salad from Little Caesars. Oh gosh.
That's the only place to get salads.
Obviously, that's where Zane
Great
goes
place.
for his salads.
That sounds horrible.
What are you eating, Zane? Like,
All right, tell us. Yeah, we've guessed plenty. What is it?
The rolls and cinnamon butter from Texas Roadhouse.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh, all
Awesome.
right.
that's good stuff.
That is good stuff.
Belated.
I'm
birthday.
less mad now that you're
Zane.
that's what you're
That
doing.
was-
But goodness,
Was it? No, it was Thursday, wasn't it, Zane? Your birthday, and you
that
went
was
to
so many days
Texas
ago. It's
Roadhouse. This is a long time ago. You know. That's true.
Too bad Zane doesn't have his camera so
Didn't
he could
think
show
about
off
that.
all the cool gifts he got.
True.
But
It's
The-
it
the
was
ducks?
really too bad. It's a shame.
What a shame, Zane. What
Yeah,
a shame.
yeah, I know.
All right, here we go. We're gonna get going here. So guys, quiet on set. Love you guys in chat. Thanks for supporting us. We appreciate you. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that's perfectly balanced, as all things should be. My name is Isaac Edlin. I am your host tonight, and we are live with our 2024 Stanlee Awards. Doing that again, Robbie. You're getting me every time with that. So, without further ado, I have 5 other bros. That's right. We have all 6 Infinity Bros joining us. One from his PS5, even, for some reason. So, why don't we go ahead and introduce him first? It is the enigma of the Infinity Bros universe. It's Zane Ellis.
Hello. We're excited. Let's get after it. Yeah.
Great intro. Zane, can you tell us why you're joining from your PS5 today?
Because why not? No one said I couldn't.
All right. There you have it, folks. Next up, we have the Magic the Gathering guru of the Infinity Bros podcast. It's Jared Curtis.
Hello, I'm here too.
There's Jared. He is here as well. The other guy that also plays Magic, that you might know from our socials, it's Robbie Sauter.
hi. I'm thrilled to be here tonight to finally get these Stanleys in. I am shaking with anger at Zane, and I'm glad everyone else is here, and I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here with all of you except for Zane.
Later on this podcast, we just see Robbie flip his desk over and storm out of the room. It's probably.
I mean, if Zane had his camera on, you would see me in his background strangling him, but you're not gonna be able to see
you
it.
won't see it. You'll
Well,
just
I've
you'll
only
just hear
seen
it.
the reverse happen. So
And he who
Well, we don't
just
talk about that.
spoke, the tinfoil hat and carrot distributor of the Infinity Bros universe. It's Mark Jones.
glad to be here. It's amazing that it's been 7 years of doing this, or 5 years.
7 if
So-
you count Infinity or the Off Topic Gamers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be coming up on 6-year anniversary in April this year. So kind of wild. Crazy.
6 smooches for all of us.
That's what I heard. That's the podcast minimum. Like
This is
6
our,
years.
This
6
is like
movies.
6 years. This is like our golden anniversary year. I guess we might have to do something special. Maybe get like a TikTok of Mark kissing each of us or something.
I'd be down.
I think that's exactly what we need to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's one gross
last,
smooch.
Over the threshold of
last but certainly not least, it's the prodigal son of the Infinity Bros universe. Max Mosier comes back to join us for the Stanlee Awards. Thanks for joining us, Max.
Glad to be here. I think it's really crazy that NBC planned their 50th SNL night and the NBA planned their All-Star game on the same night as the Stanleys. So a lot of competition, but
it's a big
It's ridiculous.
occasion.
We're just-
it's
we
getting
told
out of
them
control.
in advance. Yeah.
Yeah.
We told them in
We
advance.
did give them
So
warning, but
I'm just thankful for those that understand their priorities, and we're glad to be here. So yeah.
it's going to be a great night. We have a lot of things planned, but for those of you who have not listened to the Infinity Bros, we are 6 hosts. Our normal episodes have usually 2 to 3 of us on at a time. Actually, one of the latest ones also has Max, so he's making a comeback. Basically, he might be getting
2 in a row.
getting up the ranks of the Infinity Bros podcast appearances with the.
How many
last
more
two.
do I need to do before Zane is like back to full-fledged Enigma?
That's a great question. I'm gonna have to count up the appearances for real. I've said I had to do that for a while. Might have to do that at work this weekend or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be a great episode. For those of you who have joined us on Stanlee Awards nights before, we have 4 categories that we go through for our best and worst of 2024. So we're going to be showing you our favorite movies, TV shows, our Infinity Gems, which are kind of just anything that doesn't fit in movie, TV show categories. Could be video games, could be events, could be literally anything. And then our last category is our Bob Kane Awards, which is the worst things of 2024. So a lot of different things, and feel free to chime in on chat. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. But before we get going, I did want to do a little bit of a Snap Squad segment. Snap Squad.
Snap Squad.
Yeah, that was the cue for everybody to say something. So
Good job, Max.
great job. Way to go, everybody. But I just wanted to shout out our patrons. We have some awesome patrons that support us, and for as low as $2 a month, you guys can also get in on the patrons.
Patron is what helps feed Zane.
Helps
Sex thrown out.
insane.
That's how he eats his biscuits.
Until he officially gets married and doesn't have to buy Taco Bell every day of his life anymore. But yeah,
It'll be a sad day for Zane.
It will
Well, if
be
he moves
sad.
to Wilmer, there's still a Taco Bell, so he'll be fine.
It is. There's actually going to be a Taco Bell right across the street from where we're going to live. So
Wow, look at you.
I'm moving up in the world, boys.
Oh man, good things for Zane, right? But I
God
wanted
bless
to,
your
wanted
future
to
wife.
shout out each and every patron member of the Infinity Bros. Thank you guys so much. Chris Meyer, Joy Flyer, Caleb, LJ. We got Matthew Leathers, Ryan Felton, and Scott Higa. You guys rock, and we love you 3000. Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, are you guys ready to dive into the Stanlee Awards?
Absolutely. Let's do this.
Is that a rhetorical question? Should we all answer at once?
Yeah, you
or-
could
Or
answer it
ready.
once, yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
We rank how ready we are. Like, who's the most ready and the least ready?
Zane's the least
Oh.
ready.
Top
He doesn't even
6
have a camera.
most ready. Infinity Bros.
Is there a bro that has 6 things on all 4 of his categories? They would be the most ready. So Isaac wins. So Isaac, then Mark.
Mark,
Okay,
thank
got
you.
it. 1 and 2.
I'm glad I'm not the
Perfect.
only one. Mark, you rock.
I'm
wanna
just
be
gonna put
over-prepared.
Zane on my Bob Kane
It's
here.
supposed to show up there. All right. Okay, I'm going to keep track of the tallies, but we're going to be going through our movies and our TV shows first. And then I will tally up the amount of votes basically for each category. And then at the end of each category, we'll reveal our Stanlee Award for each of those categories. So, movies first, guys. Let's go. I've got the order on here. Max, Isaac, Mark, Zane, Jarrett, Robbie. We'll do that, and then we'll reverse it for TV shows. How does that sound?
Snake drafted.
All right, and we're doing our top 6. So we'll just do one at a time. So Max, go ahead with your number
Snaking it.
6
Snake
movie.
draft. Okay.
Yeah, number 6 for me is Trapped, starring Josh Hartnett, the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Yeah, I don't know how much this is going to appear on lists, but I thought it was well done. I was kind of hoping for a little bit of a more dark or brooding twist than just him being a killer. Spoiler alert. But yeah,
Another movie's ruined. Thanks.
Wow.
sorry, the
thanks.
movie's ruined now. Yeah, that's definitely not part of any of the marketing for it at all. So yeah, I
Joke's
thought it was
on
well
you.
done.
I didn't even know
thought-
there was marketing for it.
There you go. So yeah, M. Night Shyamalan, I thought made a great comeback here, given some of the movies he's made recently. So yeah, Trap.
All right.
All right.
LJ, thank you for that resub. You rock, man. All right, my number 6. Now I gotta pull my list up here. I already actually we kind of talked about it a little bit pre-show, but movies was kind of a tough list because I just feel like there weren't that many great movies, and especially ones that I actually went to in theaters this year. So my number 6 is Transformers 1. It surprised me because I'm not a big Transformers guy, and sure, the live action ones are all fun, and they're kind of like, in my eyes, they're kind of like the Fast and Furious movies. Like, they're good, fun action watches, but like, whatever, like, I'm not gonna die on that hill. I'll let Zane do that for me. But Transformers 1 was a really solid animated movie. It was really great. The voice acting was phenomenal. Just all around. I was surprised, and it was actually more like heartwarming and emotional than I expected too. So it was, I think, probably the most complete best representation of a Transformers movie we've gotten yet, honestly. So there you go. There's my number 6. Mark, what's yours?
My number 6 is also Trap. It's like Max's. So
Wow.
Wow.
it was
Wow.
M. Night Shyamalan just bringing something different and new. And like Max said, basically the whole trailer is Josh Hartnett, but how do we get from point A to point B is what's fun. So Trap, number 6.
All right. Zane, you're up.
All right. Well, my number 6, because I was starting to look through it. I think I only went to 7 movies all of this year.
Wow. That's crazy.
So my number 6 is Red 1. A fun little Christmas flick.
Ew.
Why?
Well, the thing,
Because
okay.
I only went to 7 movies all year.
You didn't watch any movies at home?
That's not even an excuse though, because like movies come out a month after on streaming these days. Like
Red 1 was out 2 weeks after it was in the theater.
To be fair, I get not seeing a lot of movies. I didn't see a lot this year either. But Red 1?
Zane, you don't have to go to the theater. You can watch movies at home too.
that's Zane's.
Yeah, they
bread
make
and
good
butter,
movies
isn't
that
it?
you can stream. I don't know if you know.
I'm
that.
confused. All right. I'm really interested in Zane's list right now.
I gotta tell you, I am shocked that the guy who is not showcasing his face right now, doing this on a PlayStation, has only seen 7 movies this year.
Yeah, that's
Makes no
crazy.
sense.
Great point. All right, Jarrett, hit us with your number 6.
I'm gonna go with Mad Max Furiosa. I watched this on a plane.
Thought about it.
It was one that I missed completely because I was like, I'm not super interested. The first one was pretty good, but the second one I actually really enjoyed. I think they did a lot, and it was weird to see Chris Hemsworth in like a very different role from what he normally plays. Obviously, he was still his like goofy, kind of over the top self, but him as the bad guy was kind of cool. He should be cast in villain roles way more.
Yeah, I liked him too. He was good. It was a good film. All right, Robbie, close us out with your number 6.
Yeah, Furiosa was close to being on this list. It dropped out last minute to the same as Isaac, Transformers 1. Put that on my list. It was such an underrated movie. Did not get talked about as much as it should have, but really, really enjoyable. You got to see Optimus Prime and just blamed Megatron in their kind of upbringing story and see how everything was going on Cybertron. Yeah, it's a very solid movie. My kids loved it. We watched it probably 4 times the weekend that we bought it at home, and yeah, it was great. Loved it.
Nice. There you go. All right, Robbie, hit us with your number 5 now. Snake Draft.
Oh, sweet. We'll go right to number 5 is Saturday Night. This was on Netflix, I believe. I should have double checked. I'm pretty sure this came out in 2024, like right at the end of 2024.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed Saturday Night. It's all about kind of the up and coming show of getting Saturday Night Live like on air. And it kind of showed the first night. It's a gosh, how do you explain it? It's like an ADHD like mind just everywhere. The movie is everywhere, but it's really, really fun, really, really engaging. Fun to put that out there for I didn't even realize Saturday Night Live's 50th year anniversary or whatever was tonight, but yeah, Saturday Night is my number 5.
We got some type of something going on Zane's
Dan, what are you
camera.
doing?
He does
Zane, these are things
PlayStation 5 camera.
these are things we
That's
should have done before the
hilarious.
game, before the stream.
What's happening?
You gotta take off the post-it notes that you cover up that Zuckerberg couldn't see you. But
Oh my gosh! All right.
Wow.
The enigma.
Zane, oh my gosh!
What a
it's
cutie.
so
Was
good to see
Was there a
your
keyword we
face.
had to say? Was it Saturday? Was that the word?
That must have been it. Yeah.
Must
Oh,
have
now
been
we
it.
can't hear him though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Well, anyways,
gosh.
before Zane gets his audio figured out, Jarrett, go ahead with your number 5.
I might muted. We're all right.
We're good. We're good.
There we
Oh,
go.
there you go.
Okay.
He did it.
My number 5 is Sonic 3.
Hey,
This was one that I was surprised to enjoy as much as I did, which I shouldn't be at this point. The first 2 were great, but the acting of Jim Carrey opposite himself was so phenomenally good. Like the fact that he comes out of retirement for this, and then Keanu doesn't have as many lines as I thought he was going to have. I mean, obviously, like, you know, he's part of the movie, but the marketing, in my opinion, focused more on him than Jim Carrey. And really, Jim Carrey kind of stole the show with this one. But yeah, great family flick. And again, just surprised by how much I enjoy these films.
There you go. Joy Flyer Quick says harassed Zane enough that he finally showed up. So here we are. Zane, what was your number 5?
My number 5 was Twisters.
Ooh, yeah.
That was
I like
close
that
to being on my
And-
list as well. That was real
and-
close.
the movie.
And not only was it that, but we saw it, me and Annika went to it in a drive-in. So it had a little,
Oh, that would have
Oh,
been
a little-
my
a little
God.
better.
That sounds amazing.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Good atmosphere
so that
for it.
was a little.
A tornado didn't come through the screen. Like that
Of
would have
course.
really made it.
Well, what made it better was it was a double feature. So it was Twister and Twisters.
Oh, that
Have
would
to
have
drive
been
in.
great. Oh, that
Yeah.
would been great.
So it was sweet. It was a great night.
Twisters
Wow.
didn't make my list, but it was one of those that surprised me because it was one of those like that absolutely did not need to be made. Like Twister is a perfect movie and did not need a
Right.
sequel, but Twisters was solid. Like it was
Still
really
enjoyed
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Jared is hating on you right now. He said
somehow this year.
I'm not a fan. I did not like
Jared's
Twisters.
being a hater. It's a good
I
movie.
mean, I liked
I
it
thought
way
they
better
should've
than I
stopped
like
at the first
Gladiator
one.
2, so
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
all right, go ahead, Mark.
My number 5 is a movie by M. Night Shyamalan's daughter that came out earlier this year, The Watchers.
Hey, I like that one too.
yeah, I did watch
And
that. That's a good one.
So for me, I really enjoyed it, knowing some of the background conspiracies that they kind of took from, and some of the lore there that really made it more intriguing. So I recommend it. So
Nice. There you go.
That's a solid movie.
A lot of my movies are kid movies because I went to movies with my kids, but my number 5 is Inside Out 2. It was really solid. not as good as Inside Out, but that's not a ding because Inside Out is an amazing movie. But it was still really, really good. Definitely worth going to see in the theaters and catching now on Disney Plus. So that is my number 5. Excuse me. All right, Max, you're up.
Saturday Night was also my number 5. I hated the first time I sat down and watched this. I got to about 3/4 of the way through and just decided to stick it out. I don't know why I decided to stick it out, but I'd echo what Robbie says. It's just really well done. I don't think it's like the best movie ever made, but for like the sake of this list, the reason I would say go watch this movie is because I think it shares a lot of Saturday Night Live lore over time, and it just is a great movie. Cinematography wise, but also it gives you prompts to go research more about Saturday Night Live, and I felt like I learned a lot about the show through this movie. So yeah, great pick, Robbie.
Nice. I'm gonna have to check that out because I consider myself
It's
a
on
Saturday
Netflix.
Night Live fan. So
Yeah, I would consider myself one too, which is why I stuck it out.
nice. All right, Max, go ahead with your number 3 as well.
Number 4.
Four.
Oh, 4. Excuse me. Yeah, 4.
Yep, Deadpool and Wolverine. I think we will hear about this more than I think we'll hear about it more today. I think it was really good. I gave it a 5.01 out of 6. Partially because I don't think I'll ever give a Deadpool movie a 6, just because Deadpool's that character that drives me up a wall sometimes. But yeah, the cameos, a lot of fun stuff that happens in this, and I think the setting for the movie is going to play a huge role down the line. So I really like this movie and really appreciated it. So Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, surprised that it's that low on your list, but actually, after thinking about it, yeah, I'm not that surprised on your
No,
list.
it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. My number 4 is Dune 2. Loved the movie. It was great. It was better than Dune 1, in my opinion. A lot more action.
Agreed.
I don't know if I'm 100% in on this franchise, but Dune 2 was a great movie, and it felt like one of those cinematic movies that like was a great theater experience. So I'm glad I went to it in theaters. It was really fun. So that is my number 4. Mark, you're up.
My number 4 was a movie called Homestead. I don't know if anyone... It had a theatrical release.
Sounds familiar.
Basically, it follows a family, finding refuge after a bomb detonates in L.A. And, what ensues from there.
Was it produced by Jones Productions or something like that? Or...
All I know is it's one of those movies that like Angel Studios now has. So
okay,
interesting.
But they had a pretty big campaign on Instagram, so I was like, all right, I gotta give this a shot. So
all right,
made the trek an hour away to go to a movie theater that had it. So
that's
Is
impressive.
saying your
Angel
local
Studios the
didn't have
Pureflix
it?
company? Is that the same thing or is it a different thing?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. Did not have Pureflix movies on my bingo card.
Yeah, there we go. All right, Zane, hit us with your number 4.
My number 4 is Inside Out 2. And it's still solid for as far as sequels go. Very enjoyable. And it features hockey in a bunch of the movie. So,
Good point. Yeah. Did that make it better movie than it would have been if it didn't have hockey, in your opinion?
100%.
Yep,
100%. 100%.
Yep.
Okay.
Hockey guys get it.
Yep.
There you go. All right, Jarrett, was your number 4?
My number 4 was also Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought there was a lot of cool cameos and a lot of cool shout outs. Obviously paid homage to the Fox and Sony era of superhero movies. And then obviously, like, my favorite part of the entire film was finally seeing Gambit on the big screen. It was phenomenal. Great movie. And the fact that it's 4th on the list, don't let that detract you from how amazing this movie actually was. Just means my top 3 are just that much better.
I feel like having anything on our lists is still a pretty big, like,
yeah, for
win,
sure.
because like a lot of this year might be different for us with movies.
Except for Red One.
Except for Red One.
Except for Red One. But like, I mean, there were a lot of movies that I had to keep off of my list, and not necessarily movies this year, but TV shows. I think almost all the TV shows on my list are like 6 out of 6s for me. Like there's a lot
Really?
of good
Wow.
TV shows this year.
So you and I are flipped because I had a tough time with movies.
I just don't get that, man. We'll find out when we go to TV shows, I guess.
I guess so.
All right. Robbie, what was your number 4?
My number 4 is Alien Romulus. I've never been a big like Alien movie franchise person, but this movie was really, really good. Plus I tricked Jess into watching it, which she never lets me watch scary movies or whatever. So I was like, no, it's just a sci-fi thriller. It's not that bad. Oh yeah, she hated it, especially at the end. If you haven't seen it,
Oh, that end.
if you haven't seen it, I don't know. It's been out for a while. You can watch it on Hulu. There's a humanoid alien creature thing, and it is
Go watch it.
freaky. Yeah,
It's terrifying.
It's terrifying, and it's hard to get out of your brain afterwards. So, I really enjoyed Alien Romulus way more than I thought I was going to. I did not think that was going to make my list, but I really enjoyed it. So, definitely recommend if you like those kinds of movies.
Nice. All right. Number 3, Robbie.
Number 3, we're gonna go right into Dune Part 2. I'm with what Isaac said. Dune 2 is so much better. It's better than Dune 1, and Dune 1 is okay, but Dune 2 is much better just because the action is there and it keeps you more engaged the entire time. But kind of in the same realm with you, Isaac, I'm waiting for the payoff for all this build up for Dune, and I'm hoping that that's coming. So, we're all kind of in wait. These aren't like the Lord of the Rings movie where every single one is like amazing, amazing, amazing. It's like, this is good. It's better. I'm hoping, it keeps climbing that hill. So we'll see. I'm sticking it out. I really enjoyed it. So that's my number 3.
All right. Jarrett, what was your number 3? You're muted.
Muted, Jarrett.
My number 3
There
is
you go.
Alien Romulus as well. I loved this movie. I actually was living inside Robbie's walls when he watched it, and I carved a little hole in the drywall and peeked through, which is probably why he was extra paranoid and scared. But yeah, don't look to your left.
Behind
Anyways,
Superman?
no, I think Alien is
Holes
one
or
of
something
those
else.
where I keep expecting the franchise to just hit like dead air. You know what I mean? At a certain point, I thought they would just stop delivering.
Oh, there's
And
some
they've-
really bad alien movies out there.
Sure, but even the bad ones are bad, and
Impossible.
or they're good. They're the good kind of bad, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they keep not necessarily reinventing, but exploring different areas of the Alien universe and sort of like soft rebooting it over and over again. And for some reason, they all kind of seem to stick the landing for me. And so I'm excited to see what they do with this, if they continue the story of the two that are the main characters in Alien Romulus, or if they do like they did with what's the like prequel one? Help me out here.
The Prometheus movies.
Prometheus.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yeah.
If they pivot again, which I kind of like the idea of exploring different parts of the universe, but all in all, it was a fantastic ride. And I don't think you need to be a big fan of the franchise, which I am, but I feel like you can still watch this movie and enjoy it, even if you don't get the references to the old ones.
Agreed.
All right, Zane, hit us with your number 3.
Well, my number 3, just to keep the conversation going, is also Alien Romulus.
There we go.
Wow.
And then to top the whole universe off, we're also getting a show, I think, this end of this year.
Yeah.
So we'll have a show to buckle in this as well. So I'm excited for that.
Nice.
Sick.
All right, Mark.
My number 3 is also not going to be Alien Romulus, but it is
Ooh.
Fake us out there.
Nosferatu. Is
Ooh,
my
this-
number
Oh,
three.
wait. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, keep
That
going.
seems-
sounds
that's
like
That's a
great.
good choice.
That's great.
The remake, and I am all in on these type of remakes where it's just like done serious, but like in a very dark tone. And of course, Willem Dafoe always, just knocks my socks off when I watch a movie he's in. So
He's great in anything.
Mark, can I
I
ask
know.
you something about this film?
Go on.
I obviously have not seen Nosferatu yet. I want to. If social media is any indicator, is this movie really slutty? Like, that's all I've heard is this movie is like,
you're asking
super
me
slutty.
that.
You're
Yeah,
asking the wrong
I
guy.
mean,
Yeah, it's perfectly normal in my life. So
oh, okay.
Totally normal.
So beautiful.
Well done.
Great timing.
Well done.
Great one. All right, my number 3 is Deadpool and Wolverine. Great movie.
100%.
We've already mentioned it. Loved the cameos. I thought it was a great entry. And honestly, it might be the best Deadpool movie. I still kind of go back and forth between the first Deadpool, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But
Yeah, it's hard to top that.
Hugh Jackman being back was so good. Oh, it was so fun to watch him. But yeah, that was my number 3. Max, what was yours?
Number 3 for me is Rebel Ridge. I loved this movie. This is the most surprising movie of the year. This is one of my favorite Netflix movies, maybe ever. I could not believe how much I loved this. Sarah, my wife, had asked to watch this movie, and I was like, whatever, I'll sit down. And I was just from the get-go all in. I remember going, this guy needs to be our next Green Lantern, and then weeks later he was selected by James Gunn. I think part of the reason I love this movie so much is it was my introduction to Aaron Pierre, who I think is tremendous. I think this guy's got a bright future ahead of him. And this movie is great. I loved it. And I get that it's got flaws, but I don't care. I loved it. And I think Netflix hit a home run with this one.
I was so nervous when you said Rebel Ridge, and I, for some reason, thought like Rebel Moon. And I was like, is Max putting a Zack Snyder film on his top 2? And I was like, are you kidding me? What's happening right now?
Snyder bro now.
Like, what in the world?
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
I had to double check. I Googled real quick to make sure like it was a different thing.
I honestly, I don't know if it's even like of the 6 movies I have, I don't even know if it's the best film ever made of the 6, but I just think this movie's great. I really think this is going to be a for Aaron Pierre. I think this is going to be a movie he looks back and thanks people. Thanks. Yeah. I think this jumpstarted. It was awesome. He's awesome in this movie.
Fun to see him as Jon Stewart coming up in the DCU.
For sure.
All right, Max, what was your number 2?
My number 2 is If. I loved this movie too. This one was emotional for me. I think John Krasinski hit a grand slam here. I think Ryan Reynolds was great in this. It was different for him. I think Ryan Reynolds, he was sarcastic in it, but I just think he did very well in this. I appreciated all the different voices they had in it. I appreciated the message in this one. And my top 2 films are emotional. And for me, If struck a chord that I was not expecting. So another surprise on my list, If.
There you go. My number 2 is Sonic 3. Huge Sonic fan, and Jim Carrey just knocked this out of the park. I love that they literally just let him go. They're like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, ham it up as much as possible. This was like up there. Like, Robotnik is going to become his like defining role for the people of, the Gen Z, Gen Alpha generation. And I love that for him. It's so fun. And I love how he's become more comical each movie that we've gotten. Like, I went back and watched Sonic recently, and he's got like the slick back hair, the hipster haircut, the curled mustache and everything. Each movie he just gets more like cartoony, and I love that. And then we get the big bellied and the grandpa. It was just, it was so stinking good. Sonic 3 was amazing. And Keanu honestly, I was a little worried about Keanu. I was like, I don't know how he's going to do with like voice acting, because a lot of actors just don't know how to put the emotion into it and kind of end up mailing it in for voice acting roles. But I thought he did well. He did really well. So Sonic 2 Sonic 3 is my number 2.
He does a lot of like video game voice acting too now, because he's done Cyberpunk, which he was pretty good in that.
Yeah.
And then the new FromSoft, the Armored Core series. He's been doing the like main characters.
Oh
in
yeah,
those.
yeah.
And he sounds great, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was great. So that worked for me, and I love that we're getting more for the Sonic universe. So there we go. Mark, what was your number 2?
My number 2 was Civil War.
That was a good one.
Seen previews for that. I'm always up into like the dystopian future type of movies, so that was right in my alley. Kind of like the the plot that played out, and maybe it's one of those things in the future that we'll have to deal with. Who knows?
Have you watched Arcadian yet, Mark?
Is that the one on Netflix?
No, it's I think it's on Hulu right now, but it's the Nick Cage one where he is like in a dystopian
no,
future.
I have not seen that one, but
If
Stop
you like
pushing
dystopian
your Nick
futures-
Cage
Yeah.
religion on us.
I'll be right down that. Yeah.
Okay,
Don't want
but
it.
I have to say, it's not even on any of my lists or anything. But the monsters in that movie are so whack. It's
Mm.
it's wild.
Is it just giant Nick Cage monsters running around?
That
you
would make it
imagine?
wild.
Could you imagine?
But no,
Like
That'd
Attack
be
on Titan
phenomenal.
monsters with Nick
Oh,
Cage's
Nick
face?
Cage?
That would be.
that'd be
Oh.
terrifying.
Oh my gosh, that'd be terrifying. That would be.
terrifying.
That's my
Oh,
nightmare
I
right
was
there.
thinking, thanks.
That's my dream. It's your
This is
nightmare,
my
but it's
nightmare.
my dream. So, all right. That was Mark's number 2. Zane, what was your number 2?
My number 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine. Just super fun,
Yeah.
very enjoyable. It did bother me that all the, Bye 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 became a Fortnite song. Kind of aged us all, but
Yeah, we're old.
yeah. But yeah, that's my number 2.
There you go. All right, Jarrett, what was your number 2?
My number 2 was Dune 2, or Dune Part 2. This really like brought it home for me. I loved the first movie. I think probably more than a lot of people did. And the second one, it was so awesome to see everybody get excited about Paul as like this hero, this messiah, their savior, or whatever. And then slowly watching him warp towards more of like a morally gray person and like the beginnings of what he might look like as a villain, basically, more or less, through this holy war that he's starting. I loved this movie. I think it was way more action packed than the first one, as we've already
Mhm.
talked about. And then even the casting, right? Like Austin Butler killed it in his role. Florence Pugh, we didn't see much of, but even the beginnings of what she's going to add to the series, I'm so excited to see where they go with this. I haven't yet watched the series. Is it on? Does Amazon Prime have the TV show? I have to start digging into that because
That's all HBO Max.
No,
it's all
it's
HBO
HBO
Max.
Max. That's what it is. Okay,
Garrett, have you
Yeah.
read the Dune books, or at least
I
a few
haven't.
of them?
I want to. I've heard they're pretty dense and they didn't age well. but
They are. There's like a ton of them. Basically, Dune, if I'm remembering right, is the inspiration to Star Wars. I believe.
Yeah.
So part of it.
it was kind of the big. From what I've heard, it's the big one that like started that sci-fi and fantasy ride of doing like the the hero's journey, but Dune
Basically the space
subverts that
opera.
in quite a way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of soap opera or space operas, the new one with the girl from Stranger Things looks phenomenal. Just a side note.
Oh, yeah.
If you went to
Does it have a
Captain
name?
America, you saw the previews for it.
Right.
Hold on,
The
I'll
new
look it up.
one with that girl from that one thing, that one looks promising.
know
You
what
guys
you're
will go
talking
check.
about.
It's Sadie.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
can't think
one.
of her name. She's the redhead.
Oh, Sadie
Oh,
Sink.
okay. I was thinking. I thought you were thinking 11. I thought
That's
it was
what I
11.
was thinking too. I thought you were thinking.
Yeah. See,
11.
you need to
Rock
get more
opera,
details
and it
here.
looks phenomenal.
So you mean 11? No.
Oh, it's called
the other one.
Odessa. Yeah,
Odessa.
rock opera.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, Robbie.
All right.
What's your number 2?
Give my number 2. The number 1. Number 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine. It's a movie we've all probably talked at length about. I'm sure everyone that's watching this has probably seen it. If you haven't seen it, you should probably go see it. It's really good, really fun, good time. Deadpool, Wolverine. My number 1 is, and I suspect this might be a few people's number 1, The Wild Robot. Movie was absolutely phenomenal, extremely emotional, but just such a fun, cute little movie. Even if you don't have kids, you should watch this movie. It's a really, really good. It's a really, really good movie. It should win more awards than it's already won. But yeah, that's my number 1, The Wild Robot.
All right, Jarrett. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is Civil War. I was so high on this movie after watching it, and I still continue to push it. Like, hey, if you miss it because the trailers or whatever didn't look like your speed, it's not a war movie as much as it is a story about like the consequences of war. I thought they had a lot to say about like what free press has to go through in these situations. There was so much to this movie. I honestly was delightfully surprised how deep this movie goes.
Dude.
And the character acting was so great.
The
What was
trailers
your-
did not do that movie justice at all. The
Not at
movie is
all.
much better than the trailers made it out to be.
They painted it. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say I think another thing that makes a movie like that so great is like the anxiety it makes you feel watching it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it
Yeah,
like
there's
actually
a-
pulls your emotions into the like watching it, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm invested. So
Dude, it's gut wrenching. And then seeing Kirsten Dunst in this role is so cool because like I haven't seen, I don't think I've seen her in anything since the Spider-Man movies,
Mm.
but she killed it, man. She really made you feel her like perspective. Yeah, phenomenal movie. The highest of 6s out of 6.
Yeah, it was a good one. All right, Zane, what was your number one movie of 2024?
All right, my number one, and literally no surprise to anyone, it's Godzilla Kong New Empire. It's a giant lizard and a giant monkey fighting another giant lizard and a giant monkey, and yeah, that's peak cinema, guys. Pack it in. It doesn't get better than that.
I love you, Zane. Please never change.
I
Ignore-
love that that's
ignore
gonna
the
be
haters,
only
ignore Max.
entry of Godzilla v Kong on this whole everybody's
Yeah.
list is Zane's
we have-
number one.
You have to put points for
There's 3
Godzilla
of
and
us
Kong
That's
and
true.
Red
We
1
still
because
have
of
3 of us
Zane.
left.
There's
Max's
still
might
a
be
lot of
Godzilla v
time.
Kong.
There's
You're
a
right.
lot
you're
of
right.
time left.
All right, Mark, what was your number one?
my
Golly.
number one, and I actually feel like complete opposite like of normal years with movies like this. But my number one's Deadpool and Wolverine.
Really?
just-
Wow.
I was all in. I had the hype before, I had the hype during, I had the hype after, and then emulate what Jared said with his it was his number 4 is it had Gambit in it. I've been waiting for Gambit in a movie for 10 years.
Yeah,
Blade was
Alex,
back.
yeah.
It's all that matters. I
Yep.
saw Gambit. I was like, movie of the year. Don't matter what's in front of me or behind me. So
the one and sadly only Blade was back.
Never gonna be another Blade.
and he was right.
Only one.
unfortunately.
He called it.
For now.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Yeah. My number one is same as Robbie's. It's The Wild Robot. I knew this movie was going to be good because my daughter read the books last year in school and she has not stopped talking about them since. And when we saw the trailer for the first time in theaters, she literally cried. And I was like, all right, I think this is going to be a solid movie. We went and I cried during the movie multiple times. So, and that's not an indicator of, how good a movie is because I cry during a lot of movies. But The Wild Robot was way more emotional than I was expecting. Beautiful animation. It was just incredible movie. And like Robbie said, highly recommend seeing it even if you don't have kids. But if you do have kids, it's a must watch. Like you need
Did
to
you
watch
cry
it.
during Dogman?
Is it appropriate
Almost,
for a 2 to 3 year old?
Dogman sucked.
Dogman
Whoa,
wasn't that bad.
whoa.
It was a fun kids movie,
Hater.
Dogman sucked.
Yeah. Wild Robot,
Didn't like it.
6 out of 6. Incredible movie. Max, what was your number one?
Number one for me is Inside Out 2. I think this movie, I firmly disagree on Inside Out's better. I think this might be the best Pixar movie ever made, in my opinion.
You're ridiculous.
I love it. I think it's great. I think
That's a hot
I
take.
do. I think it is. It's one of my favorites. I think how they talk about anxiety is tremendous. I think they talk about a lot of very tremendous. There's a lot of emotions addressed in this movie that people of all ages I would talk with throughout the year that would say, I finally feel like I'm able to put something to this emotion. And I think they really just did a beautiful job with that movie. It's going to be a movie we reference for a long time with our kids, raising them. It's the season of life I'm in. Again, it's emotional, but Inside Out 2 for me.
Wow.
I'm just shocked that The Wild Robot wasn't on more list.
Me too, honestly.
I haven't
So
seen it
stinking
yet.
good.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it. Max, did you see it?
I have not had a chance to see it.
Oh,
We're the
okay.
only ones
sure
that
it
have
would make-
watched it, Robbie.
Oh my gosh,
Goodness.
you guys have
You
this
guys
so
are going to change your
good.
minds when you watch it.
It's so
Besides
good.
Inside Out 2, all the other movies that you guys put on your list, I haven't seen yet. Like that's how like
Wow.
That's
What a
how-
weird year for Mark.
Netflix
Such a
DVD
niche year
has
for
screwed me
Mark.
over with movies.
Mark, it's on the TVs now. Mark, you don't have to
I
wait for
can't.
the
I can't. I need the
need
company
this-
plan. I have to watch
Mark
this
has
and
a
get it
tube
back
TV
and
with a
give me
DVD
movie.
player. He does not have a way to stream things.
Do you have to
okay?
dial in
For-
the
I
colors
did
still on your
that- I
TV?
did that for 13
For new
years.
people.
I can't.
Yeah,
For new
explain
people
this,
that
please,
don't
Robbie.
know, Mark was probably one of the last 5 people
And
still
first,
getting
by the way.
physical media from Netflix, where they were still sending him
Pirates and
disc for his movies. So once that ended, apparently him watching more movies than all of us every year also ended
Out the door.
out the window. It's wild.
Wow,
Wild.
for
Door
Mark
wheel,
this year.
it went out.
Tough 2024 for Mark.
Yeah, I'm
And
sorry,
it's get
Mark.
worse with a new child coming.
True.
You mean
Or
better?
because sometimes
Better.
you just sit there and you're taking care
It's
of the
good.
kid and you throw something on.
Well,
Although
that's what I did with Maggie first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you-
I was it off to for 7 months. Yeah, that was wild.
But I've found that I
Yeah.
watched a lot of new stuff, but I didn't remember a lot of that new stuff, like looking
Right.
back on it, because I was like so in a daze of like being tired 24/7 in
Yep.
those times. But
Makes sense.
Can't wait.
all right, guys, that's it. Our official 2024 Stanley Award for movie goes to Deadpool and Wolverine by a long shot, actually,
Wow.
because I think it's on all of our lists. That was
Wow.
the thing. All
Yeah.
of our number ones weren't really heavy hitters on
makes
everybody's
sense.
list. So next
Hold on
up
to your butts.
would be, let's see, Deadpool and Wolverine with 26 points. Next up is Dune 2 and The Wild Robot with 12.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Little time.
It
Little time.
like completely obliterated.
What's
Oh no,
is
no, no,
Civil
no!
War
I
after that?
lied. I lied. I didn't add Max's to Inside Out 2. So Inside Out 2 would be the winner with 17. So Inside
there
Out
you
2
go.
would be number 2. But yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine, the official Stanley Award for Best Movie of 2024 for the Infinity Bros podcast. So there you go. All right. Next up,
Makes
we're going to
sense.
be doing TV shows. But if you are watching our Twitch stream and you have not typed in !ticket, make sure you do that, because that enters you into win an Infinity Bros merch item from our store. So make sure you type that in. All right. TV shows.
Not you, Mark. That's Mark.
Mark
not
doesn't
that.
count.
Exclamation point ticket.
All right. Next up, we've got our TV shows. So we're gonna go. Should we do opposite directions here? So we'll start with Zane,
Sure.
go around the other way, and end with Mark, and we'll also snake it there. So
Okay.
number 6, starting with our TV shows. Zane, what was your number 6?
Number 6 for me was Skeleton Crew.
Hey.
I very much enjoyed the show. It's kind of geared more of the younger audience, but like if you want just a fun show that's literally Goonies in the Star Wars universe, go check out Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Sure would have finished it.
Is that why you don't have a lot of TV shows? Because you start watching them and you just don't finish them? Is that why?
He needs time for
No,
One
there's
Piece.
only a
That's what it
few.
is.
That One Piece is in the way of a lot of things. But no. That's just one I just haven't finished. Most of the things I finish. But Jared's 100% right. One Piece is our go-to.
Hold on to your butts.
It's like if we're gonna watch TV, I'm gonna watch One Piece.
That's fair. All right, Jarrett, what was your number 6?
My number 6 is a Netflix anime called Delicious in Dungeon or
Oh.
Dungeon Meshi. It's phenomenal. I haven't watched Dan Dan yet. I no longer have Netflix, so I binge watched Dungeon Meshi, and then I didn't have time to get Dan Dan. But it's the story of this like group of adventurers who go through a dungeon, and this is so like if you could design a TV series perfectly for me, this is it. They go through this dungeon and they eat all the monsters. That's the whole gimmick, is like they wonder, how can I cook these monsters? What would they taste like? What monster pairs well with what dish? And if you know me at all, I love D&D and I love cooking. Like I am obsessed with cooking. And so yeah, phenomenal series. I did not get to watch it past, I don't know, episode like 14 or whatever. I know they're continuing it, but it's the only reason why I'm trying to get Netflix again, is because I love this series.
All right.
That's right.
Robbie, what was your number 6?
I'm giving a 7 because I have to, because it doesn't technically count. So bear with me. One Piece, because I watched a lot of it and it's technically still coming out, but I'm not caught up yet. So I
Half
can't
expected
technically
you to
put it on
say
my
New
list.
Girl there, but
I want to say New Girl. I wish you guys would let me. But One Piece technically is still coming out. I haven't watched the newest episode, so it doesn't really count. My number 6 will be Creature Commandos from DC on HBO Max. Super fun show. Did not realize it was going to be as good and as heartfelt as it is. Definitely recommend it. It is a little more mature, so not for children,
It
but
is.
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. A little bit. But yeah, really, really good show. I did not expect it to be as good as it was. Creature Commandos on HBO Max. Number 6.
Max, what was your number 6?
I did not have a number 6 this year for TV shows. I only have 5.
Oh,
I know.
Jiminy
You
I
want
know.
to throw up Righteous
Say,
Gemstones on
say
there?
New Girl.
Insane. This is
Move on.
insane, you guys. There's so many good shows this year. I just don't understand it.
I actually on my list I'll give context, but I don't need the one I'm putting on 5. I have gripes with. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So we're just skipping him for 6.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's fair.
mine-
He can't be skewing the rankings.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Right?
skew the. Yeah, I have integrity here. I'm gonna show up with a camera on. I'm gonna show up with and make sure that the rankings are not skewed, unlike other people here.
That's fair.
Robbie stole Max's 6 to use it as 7 for One Piece.
Hey, you know what, Robbie?
Actually, what-
It's yours. You can have it.
Oh, sweet. Can we put One Piece on the list?
My number 6 is One Piece.
on for 6.
My number
One
6 is
Piece on
One
there.
Piece. There we go. Put it on there.
There it is.
Okay.
Official rankings.
My number 6. This is how many good TV shows there is this year, guys. My number 6
we got it.
is
You
The
watched TV
Bear
this year.
season 3. Number 6. The Bear was fantastic, but I will say season 3 slightly less. Like if I was ranking the seasons of The Bear, season 3 is probably on the bottom. Still like a 6 out of 6 show though. Like it's fantastic. Love The Bear. It's number 6 though. That's how many good shows there are. All right, Mark, hit us with your number 6.
My number 6 was Griselda. If anyone happened to
Don't
see
know
that
what that
or
is.
hear about it, so it
The
came
heck
out like
is
right at the
Griselda?
beginning of the year. Sofia Vergara played this woman who was like a drug lord, kind of in the 80s, and it was fantastic. It's only like 6 episodes. I think it was on Netflix. Highly recommend it. So
All right,
there you go, guys.
there you go. What's your number
That's
5?
him.
My number 5, which might be on some people's lists, is From Season 3.
Hey, there it is.
From is just a special delight that was, I feel like, the person who recommended it to me, I was like, this is the show you watched. And it was Max. Max is the one who introduced this show to me. And now we're in season 3. And now I think I don't know if Robbie's watched it, but we're all in a,
Not
basically
caught
we
up.
could just go back to the Infinity Bros, back to that group, because we all seen it, because we all, what's our conspiracy theory and what's going on in that show. It's one of those. It's like Lost for 20.
Honestly, now that we're all like caught up on it,
Before
we
we
might
can-
have to review it like on the podcast and do like monthly or weekly episodes or something like that because that show is phenomenal. That's a great show. All right, my number 5 is The Penguin. Way better than I was expecting it to be. I enjoyed Colin Farrell as the Penguin in the Batman. Like he was really good, but I was like, why do we need a spin-off show? Like I just didn't really understand why it was necessary. But it blew me away. Him and what was her name? Milioti. Is it Christina Milioti or
Dina.
whatever?
Yeah.
She just killed. Those guys just absolutely destroyed that show. It was so stinking
Yeah.
good.
Somehow didn't win supporting actress of the year or actor of the year, which is
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
Absolutely
They
ridiculous.
should have won every award in TV category.
They should have.
Yeah,
'cause
probably.
It was phenomenal. So,
But it's only number 5 for
only
Isaac.
number 5. Yep.
I'm
That's how
I'm
many good shows
amazed.
there are.
You're gonna put Skeleton Crew above it, and I'm gonna.
No, I
punch you.
I will say that right now. I don't have Skeleton Crew on my list.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna
So-
see that Little Mermaid show that came out. Get to watch
Little
Little Mermaid
Mermaid
show.
show.
He's like my number 1.
Spidey
There
and
There was
Friends
one new
seasons
Bluey show.
5.
That's
Yeah.
number 1.
All right,
Thought about
Max,
it.
what was your number 5?
My number 5 is Evil. They finally finished this show. I think it's ending a little early. And I felt like this season was really clunky. So it's the only reason I'm putting it on here is just because I've been following this for a long time, and Mark and I have kind of watched this together through the years. I was a little disappointed in this season. I was hoping for way more answers than we got. I think the cast and crew are really trying to keep this thing going for 1 or 2 more seasons, but yeah, really fascinating show. One of the most complex characters is David in that show, and he's the reason I watch it. It's the ultimate pastoral protagonist. I think it's a great show, and I really appreciate it. So, Evil.
Nice. All right, Robbie, what was your number 5?
My number 5 was Dan, which is an anime on Netflix. It's a really good anime. There's actually a lot of good anime that came out in 2024. I'm sure there's more that I've missed. I was interested in watching the show that Jarrett actually talked about, but haven't got around to it. But Dan, kind of jumped onto the scene, had no idea about it, but everyone online was talking about it, and it's a trip, but it's a really fun trip if you enjoy anime. So Dan is my number 5.
Jarrett, was your number 5?
My number 5 is Fallout. I thought this was a phenomenal addition to the Fallout series. I thought it was cool that it paid respect to the games, but was also telling its own story. I was thoroughly surprised, and I think the acting and everything was so great in this. I'm excited to see where they go with the new season that's coming up. And yeah, all around just amazing TV series.
Zane, cap us off with your number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a show on Peacock called Teacup. And I know you'd hear Teacup and you're like, what is this about? I was looking for a void that From had, find another horror TV show. And I found Teacup. And it's only been one season. The cast is good. The main cast is good. The supporting cast could definitely be better. But I've enjoyed it. And if you like horror, so the show's basically about aliens are invading Earth, and a mysterious dude shows up, draws a line of paint around these people's farm, and anything that crosses over that barrier gets horribly mutilated. And they're basically trapped on the farm and trying to figure out what's going on. And so it's kind of trippy. And yeah, so it's number 5 for me.
Why is it called Teacup?
In the vein of Teacup, or in the vein of From, yeah.
But why is it called Teacup?
Because the mom is giving like a object lesson to her son about a storm is like a hornet in a teacup.
Oh.
And so the teacup is the barrier that's over their farm.
Yeah.
basically.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Zane, hit us with your number 4.
My number 4 is season 3 of The Bear. Like I said, I think it can agree that it's not quite as good as like 1 and 2, but still an absolutely fantastic show. Especially seeing like Richie's growth and everything that's still going through season 3. Very much enjoyed it.
All right, Jarrett, what was your number?
Mine is also season 3 of The Bear. If you know me, you know I love this series. I wanted to put it higher, but there was just more that came out this year. And like everybody said, this is probably the weakest season so far. But it's still nice to see the crew together and working through their problems in the most like unhealthy fashions possible. My one critique is not enough cooking and not enough swearing. You know, I need more of both from this
They had
series.
a lot of those in the first 2 seasons.
Need more.
Yeah.
Need more. Yes,
They had
chef.
a lot. What I will say about this season of The Bear is they had a lot of like single episodes that were phenomenal, but it just didn't feel cohesive really as a season.
I think they're setting something up, is my feeling.
Yeah, they did a lot of like deep character dives and single episodes, which was cool. Like it was great. Don't get me wrong, but yeah,
None of them. Yeah, nothing from this season hits quite as hard as Richie's like solo episode in season 2.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
so
peak
good.
this series. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, Robbie, what was your number 4?
It is not season 3 of The Bear. I'm not all the way caught up. I'm halfway through season 2, so we're getting there. But mine is Dragon Ball Daima. I always struggle with how to exactly say it. But Dragon Ball Daima is my number 4. It's just good to have Dragon Ball Z back. I've never been a fan of like the whole little, like character thing that they're doing now with everyone. But at least it's better. At least
what they call it.
I don't
Like what
know.
they did in GT.
It's like what they did in GT. It's better than what they did in GT, so that's at least acceptable. It's a fun little watch. It scratches that Dragon Ball itch that I've had my entire life. So that is my number 4.
Are you finally caught up all through this weekend?
I have not caught up to this weekend, but I did get it spoiled for
You
me.
got it spoiled. Dang it.
That's the one thing. No one cares. No one cares for like spoilers for that
This
show.
day and age, man. Like the second it airs, it's people.
Yeah,
are
it's just
posting
like
spoilers.
it's everywhere. And I'm like, are you guys like, what happened? We used to like there used to be we used to be a
used to live
cultured
in a
society.
society.
We used to
We
be a
used to live in
proper
a society.
country.
Society.
People used to appreciate spoilers and spoilers review.
You guys remember
But,
Infinity War and Endgame? Like there was a campaign online, like don't spoil
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Endgame, don't
Russo
spoil
brothers
Right.
were like,
Infinity
hey, if you do it, we'll come after your family.
Yeah, we've had mutuals that have spoiled things, and we don't forget.
War.
People don't forget. So
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of sucks that there's been a few that's happened twice now. That like a big thing happened in Dragon Ball Daima, and it's already been spoiled before I see it. So
Sad.
whatever, I guess.
Sad day.
Sucks.
It's
All right.
it's still sweet. It's still sweet.
I'm still excited. I was still excited for Vegeta going Super Saiyan 3. So like I'm it's fine. It'll be fine.
All right, Max, what was your number 4?
It's been said already. Penguin's my number 4. Great show. Don't need to get into it anymore. It's awesome. Good show.
Agreed. My number 4 is X-Men 97. Like, I'm not even a big animated, like, X-Men 97. Like, I didn't watch that show growing up. And I just basically watched a YouTube recap to lead up to this one. But holy crap, that season hit hard. It was so stinking good. Way better than I was expecting it to be, because I don't know how you guys feel about like all the, remakes and sequels and stuff that have been coming out of. Generally, I just don't really care for them. But man, this was a great follow-up, and it just hit it out of the park. So X-Men 97 is my number 4. Mark, what was yours?
My number 4, which I think was on Garrett's list already, was Fallout, the series. Was really pumped for this coming out when I first heard about it. Big fan of all the Fallout games. I feel like I'm old enough to have played even the one on PS1, so I was all in. Our guy Walter Goggins is in that, so especially as to this group that we're. Anyways, so I'm excited for more Fallout stuff to come, and hopefully they do us right and don't give us some bad writing or acting, but we'll see. My number 3 is X-Men 97. I watched it growing up. I also, to also date myself, the first purchase I made on Xbox 360 was the series that was on there, so I would watch it religiously on my Xbox 360 as a teenager, so. And I love that they just continue right on the story, like right where they left off. Didn't have to do something new in the same vein of that show, but loved it, so can't wait for more when that comes out. So
yeah, absolutely. Hey, and I was kind of worried, I guess, about the animation too, because it looked like, I don't know, like they were definitely trying to emulate the old animated style, and I was just like,
but make it look modern.
Right, but make it look modern. And I just didn't know how it was going to go, but it looks great. I thought they knocked it out of the park with the animation too. It looks awesome. So, my number 3 is the Bad Batch season 3. Zane might share my sentiments on this one, but man, I know this is a very niche Star Wars show, but this show shows how good Star Wars can be when it's not focused on like, lightsabers and Jedi and Sith and all that stuff. Like, it was just an amazing show. And I love the, Clone Wars animation style. So the fact that, that show is a spin-off from the Clone Wars. Loved everything about it. And this season was by far the best season of the show overall. So absolutely great ending to the show. Loved it. It was amazing. Max, what was your number 3?
Number 3 for me was Squid Game. It snuck in just at the last week in 2024. I really liked season 2 of Squid Game. I know there was a lot of thoughts online about it and the way it ended in season 3. I'm not going to spoil the connection, but they did something in this season that another show also did. And they beat them to it. And I found that really interesting and fascinating. So Squid Game season 2, great. I'm very excited for the third and I believe final season to come out this summer.
Yeah. All right, Robbie, number 3. You're muted.
You're on mute.
You muted.
Give me a
Sorry, I was typing. My number 3 is Arcane Season 2. I don't know if you guys have heard of Arcane or been, anyone that's told you to watch
I think
Arcane.
Scott Higa might have told us to watch it at one
God,
point.
Higa might have told you to watch Arcane. Really, really good show. If you haven't watched both seasons, dude, it's incredible. The animation is crazy. They spent crazy amounts of money to make this look as good as it did. But yeah, Arcane Season 2. Go watch Arcane if you haven't. It's on Netflix. It's a very, very good story. A lot of good action. It's just all around good time.
All right, Jarrett.
My number 3 is X-Men 97 as well. Like Mark, this was a series that I watched religiously growing up. Fans of the Infinity Bros know I have read almost all of the X-Men leading up to like Hellfire Gala. And Chris Claremont's run was my all-time favorite, early Chris Claremont when he took over after Jim Byrne. And so seeing a lot of that storyline play out was so great. We got to see Life, Death, and God Loves Man Kills, stuff like that. And it's so awesome to see like today's generation, the kids growing up now, enjoy the same things that I did growing up. And obviously Magneto's storyline in this was so good. Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go from here. Must watch, in my opinion, if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Zane, hit us with your number 3.
All right, my number 3 is Fallout. And super fun show. I scratched that itch, and I'm excited to see what season 2 is going to have for us, because Walter Goggins has promised us it's going to have even more action than season 1. So
more Goggins.
More Goggins. Sign me up.
Waiter, I don't have enough Goggins. Can I have more Goggins, please?
May I have some more,
I got a
please?
fever, and the only prescription is more Goggins.
Love it. All right, Zane, what was your number 2 TV show?
My number 2 TV show is Shogun. If you guys didn't watch Shogun,
Yeah, buddy, let's go.
highly recommend it. Just everything from that like how they did that show is if you took Game of Thrones but took the fantasy out of it, like this, it was so good. And it has it's based, the characters and the events that happened is based on historical stuff that actually happened. But yeah, I can't recommend Shogun enough. It's a very good show, especially if you like anything historical or get into anything feudal Japan. You'll love the show.
Yeah, agreed. Jarrett, what was your number 2?
My number 2 is the latest season of From. Like most people, I got turned on to this from Max, which is so crazy because if you would have pegged like the series that Max is known for, I would not have guessed From in a million years. But the mystery behind it is so captivating. And we have a group chat that we're in where we just like ping ideas off of each other. And I went so freaking deep this season. Jade, if you watch the series at all, is like my favorite character. And I think the casting with Harold Perrineau and honestly, like I have no complaints. And so it was hard not to put this as number 1 because it has continued to deliver in spades.
Agreed. Robbie, what was your number 2?
Number 2 is Fallout. It's been mentioned a few times, but it scratched that Fallout itch that a lot of us had from being younger and playing all the Fallout games. But it's just such a good representation of what Fallout is. And I think why I enjoy it so much more is because I was so worried it was going to be bad, because I feel like it could have been really, really bad for some reason. But they knocked it out of the park. They captured the essence of Fallout in that franchise and what it's like to be people in a vault and people out of a vault. So yeah, Fallout is my number 2. Absolutely loved that show.
Got an eye roll for Max there. All right, Max, what was your number 2 then?
No,
I didn't even have
I'm
6.
not eye rolling.
He's eye rolling something else. You'll see.
I'm eye rolling something else.
Just remember,
Forgive the
whatever you're
tiebreaker,
eye
Rob.
rolling at is not said in this right now. So.
I never said it was. I'm just addressing that. There it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 2.
What
So
little
am I
life
doing?
is in it, so.
I'm doing 2, then 1, Isaac.
No. You're just doing 2. We still
Great.
got a couple people to go.
X-Men 97. We talked about this earlier. I think X-Men 97 is one of the best things Marvel's put out in years. I just love this project. I couldn't believe that they jumped right back into it. And you guys are kind of all talking about this, but they even had cameos from certain shows back then. That it was a pure nostalgia thing. And I get that. That's why I like it so much. Like production wise, I don't think it's the best, but like for me and for us and for just our generation, felt seen, felt heard. Jarrett, you referenced all the things I was going to reference earlier. A great callback to tremendous comics. So awesome show.
Yeah. Number 2 for me was also Shogun. Watched this alongside Zane, and we actually reviewed it on the Infinity Bros podcast. Don't remember which episode that is. We'll maybe link it in the show notes. But holy crap, this show blew me out of the water because I was not expecting it to be nearly as good as it was. And just the historical aspect of it, with the main character being like a Portuguese dude who went over there and basically was trying to exploit like the Japanese trade and stuff at the time. Very cool, like historical aspect to it. And the show itself was absolutely incredible. So would highly recommend watching that one.
Shogun's one that I started that I would like to get right back into. Like it's really, really good, but it's not caught up like you guys are.
Stinking
Yeah,
good, so
same for me, Robbie. Like there's been a couple shows that have been said here that I'm like, I've The Bear. I've wanted to watch The Bear.
Yeah.
And Shogun, and I just have not
I watched
gotten
season
to it.
1 of The Bear and have like not gone back, even though I really enjoyed it. I really need to get back into it.
I'm sure that the seasons were great. I feel bad that I haven't seen them to put them on the list, or at least weigh them.
Well, you could still put them on the list if we're like just pulling Robbie's out of our back pockets.
I mean, I've already given my.
Hey,
pick
I
to
had
Robbie,
6
right? I mean,
here.
No,
He didn't
you
even
had
show up with 6.
No, that's true. No,
I think I
that's
said it before the show. I was like, yeah, I'm only gonna have 5.
I
today.
mean,
And
I think
take mine, Robbie.
the first year that we did the Stanlees and Robbie put The Office on his list was just...
My understanding was anything that we had watched that year, and I finally watched The Office. That was a big moment for me.
Good.
Then you know what?
Then we
Isaac-
changed to the current year. We did.
Isaac, could you please put New Girl at number 6 for me, then, please? Thank you.
Okay, New Girls, Max is number 6.
That's so good.
No, he already said One Piece. We have it on record.
One
It's
Piece.
too late.
Max,
I'd like to
He said
retract
One Piece
it.
level.
It's now New Girl. Scratch me.
Unretractable.
All right, Mark, what was your
This
number
isn't
2?
a ruler.
My number 2 is another one that came out earlier in the year, and I feel like it was just slept on because it was too funny for me. The show Ted. Anyone watched that at all? It was
I saw that was a show and I was shocked.
hilarious. It made me laugh out loud, as the kids would say.
Lol.
Yeah. There were
Nice.
some jokes in there that I'm like, Max would blush. It was so funny. Yeah, that's how hilarious it was.
Hello.
Oh gosh, it doesn't take that much. So I mean, like
And I recommend go watching it. You're gonna laugh your socks off and think of Max at the same time. So,
all right, number 1 show of 2024. What was it?
no shock to the group here because of my high praise. It is The Penguin.
High
The
praise.
Penguin's number 1,
High praise.
and
High
just
praise.
I'll be on record saying the best TV show I think I've seen ever.
Wow,
That's how I feel about it.
That's a hot take.
Colin Farrell had I think the most perfect performance under prosthetics and just the way his mannerisms and the way he walked. Just like that dude should just be. They should retire him.
All
They
the
should, like,
rewards.
give
All the awards.
him all the rewards. Give him all the money USAID was dishing out just right to Colin Farrell. He deserves it all. Let's go.
Hanging the fat suit in the rafters.
Yep. The Raptors in every sports stadium in the US.
Nobody's allowed to ever play them.
That was good, Zay. That was good.
That was a good. Yeah, no, I
Number 1.
agree though. Man, Colin Farrell did so well in that show. It's incredible. My number 1 show of 2024 is from season 3, and I think I maybe am a little biased because I binged the whole show this year, so I just rolled right into season 3, and I think I caught up like the last like maybe 4 or 5 episodes of season 3. I was like watching them alongside these guys, but the praise that they gave this show for years up until I finally got to watch it, it did not disappoint at all. Like, I've talked to Max about this a bit, but I loved Lost back in the day. Amazing show. And this show reminds me so much of Lost. Like, the feelings that I had while watching it. It was just like, you got done watching it and I was like, I can't stop watching. I have to watch the next one to find out what the heck is going to happen. Like, I have to, until obviously I couldn't do that anymore when I was up to date. But man, it just, the Lost vibes were uncanny in this one. And now, because of that, I'm like going back and rewatching Lost again with my wife this year. So yeah, amazing show. It was great. Max, what was your number one?
No, yeah, it's From. Come on. I mean, that's what you've heard everybody else talk about it. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, this should shock nobody. From is some episodes I watch From, and I'm like, holy crap, because it's the same director, Jack Bender, and similar writers, not all the same writers, but there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, they're rewriting the problems they had in Lost. And then there's other times like, oh no, they're making the same mistake they made in Lost. And I think for me, I that's part of the reason I'm so passionate about the show is I really want them to stick this landing. I love what Lost did top to bottom, but in this one, I think it's going to be known for how it ends. And man, the season 3 finale was wild. So yeah, From is great. I love it. I need to give a shout out to cast members of this, because I don't think these people, Scott McCord as Victor deserves nominations. He's not going to get them. He deserves them. Elizabeth Saunders should play Granny Goodness in the DC Cinematic Universe. She should be casted immediately. Jade, you talked about David Alpay. Jarrett, he's awesome. And then Harold Perrineau is giving his best performance. I know the guy is famous for other shows. I know that everyone's going to say Oz. I know everyone's going to say Lost. This is his best one by far.
Agreed. Yeah. Robbie, what was your number one show of 2024?
My number one, super surprising for everyone here, was the show The Penguin. I don't know if a lot of people saw it. Pretty good. Some might say the greatest show of all time. I don't think I would say that.
Some might say it.
Might say that. It's the greatest show of all time. Yes, just crazy. Why does Max eye rolls at my number 2 and then completely leaves at my number 1?
He's out.
Apparently, you've made him rattled. It's
unbelievable. It's just he knows what to expect from me. And he's just like, I'm out of here. I don't get it. I do feel the odd thing is I do feel like there's all these shows that I just haven't kept up on. So like Shogun, The Bear, From are all shows that I've started and just not kept up on. So my list could have been very different if I just, kept up on shows. But yeah, The Penguin was incredible. There's nothing more we can say about it. It was the best show of the year, and I don't even think it's close. So at least from what I watched. But yeah, The Penguin, number 1.
All right. Jarrett, what was your number 1?
To the surprise of absolutely nobody, my number 1 was the last season of Arcane. I am a degenerate League of Legends player, and I remember the launch of every single one of these characters and how messy the stories behind them were, but the hype of like, what if Vi and Jinx might be sisters? That would be crazy. And to see that go from, rumors from a YouTube short that Riot released to an actual full-fledged, well-written, and phenomenally acted series. Yeah. The last season of Arcane is my Roman Empire. This is something that I think about all the time, and the stories that they can say from there. So, Arcane is phenomenal.
Would some consider it the best show of all time?
Some would say that it's the best show of all time. Yeah, some would say that.
I don't think anyone said that. I don't think anyone said that.
Would.
Oh, so you're not.
Some people have said that about the Penguin.
Some people have said that about the Penguin.
Would Scott Higgins say that about Arcane?
I don't know. Scott did tell you all to go watch it.
I mean, we also told them all to go watch it, but if
what do we care?
It's so good.
All right, Zane, last one, number 1 show of 2024.
All right, not a surprise. Gonna keep the ball rolling. It's From. This show, it's too good, and not just from what we're getting from the show, but as a show of I am so excited to finish the episode, to wait for everyone else to watch the episode, to get the group chat going, to be like, all right, guys, let's get theories going.
Yeah.
And so just like that feeling and that experience with it, it just increases the depths of how much that show is just enjoyable. So season 3 and I cannot wait for season 4.
It's all
Toaster-
no-namers. All no-namers, too.
yeah.
That's the craziest
Toaster
part.
in chat is 100% correct. We should be getting money from MGM Plus. We're
We
plugging them like crazy.
We really should, because it's
Like-
the only reason MGM Plus exists.
The only ones talking about this
the
show.
only reason MGM Plus is worth it is from because there's nothing else on that.
That's
plan.
the only
There's
thing that's
really
holding me
nothing else
back,
on there.
man.
It's
the only
only
thing.
like it's only like $4. Just binge it
But
in a month.
it's
Like,
worth
I have
it.
Just
80
add it onto your Amazon
I would
Prime.
pay money to watch that show again. So
right.
You have to download
I
it.
just
Add it to your
accidentally
Amazon Prime.
subscribed to a car washing place. I didn't even know I was doing it.
Dude, real talk, that happened to me 2 years ago, too. Bubble
What?
Barn in Burnsville.
Mine is
One-
is like Jimmy's in town or whatever, and it's like it was a deal. They were like, "You want to sign up for the subscription deal?" I was like, "How much is it?" It's $15, but it's like it's normally 45. I was like, "Okay, cool." I didn't realize it was like a monthly thing. I just thought it was like
Yeah.
I get it for 3 months. Nope.
Yes.
Nope. You're
I'm
signed up.
telling you, that's a car wash model. That is 1,000%.
I wish I would have with MGM Plus. I wish I would just accidentally stumble upon signing up for it. I'm pretty sure I'm signed up for Peacock, and I've never watched a single thing on there.
That's
So-
so
Go watch
funny.
Ted.
That's so
Yeah,
funny.
Teacup.
Yeah, go watch Teacup.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I think I got Peacock just to watch the Royal Rumble one year, and I've just been signed up since.
On
used
Patrol
it during
Live, the
football
best show
season.
on Peacock. On Patrol Live. Go
All right.
watch it.
All right,
It's the,
got
it's
it.
the best show on Peacock.
I'm not gonna do that.
So the number 1 show of 2024, the Stanley Award for the Infinity Bros.
What's it gonna be?
Goes to drumroll from season 3, which obviously
Hey.
knocked it out of the
Yeah.
park. 25 points. The next one up was the Penguin with 17, so it's not really that far off.
Pretty
If
close, pretty
anything,
close.
this proves that like peer pressure works, specifically
Yes, it literally
comes
does
from Max.
because that's the only reason
Yeah.
I watch this show, because you guys peer pressured me too. So,
yeah.
but I'm glad you
I've
did
been
because
trying
it
to
was
peer
worth it.
pressure Max with some shows, and it never works.
And I'll tell you what, I the only reason I watched that show is because somebody else peer pressured me. So it's like it's just weird.
It is
Notice
wild,
we've
like,
none of us here have ever been able to peer pressure Max into anything.
That's
That's
the
true.
reason that I think the peer pressure worked, was because part of it was from Max, and I'm like, if Max is recommending a horror show, it's
A horror show.
Gotta be
Like,
good.
it's
Yeah.
gotta
Right,
be good.
right.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. It was from Jake from the
State
Farm?
State Farm?
I win. I got it first. I
Is
said
it
first.
Jake from
My-
State Farm?
it's my turn.
Everyone
I said
said-
first.
Everyone said State Farm. Yeah, you know what? It was State Farm. I'm just gonna leave
Blink
it. at
twice
that.
if Jake from State
from
Farm
State
is in the
Wait, I
room
don't
with
want to
you.
really know who it was. It's just gonna be Jake from State Farm from now on for all of us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, moving forward, that's way more cool than what I was gonna say. So let's just do that.
Sweet. Love it.
All right, boys. 2 wonderful categories. Deadpool and Wolverine brings home the Infinity Bro Stanlee for Best Movie of 2024. And From Season 3 takes home the Stanlee for Best TV Show of 2024. So there you go. Let us know in the comments what your guys' favorite one was, if you haven't already. And
Sick.
if you haven't typed in !ticket on Twitch, make sure you do that as well, so you can
Get you a ticket.
Nope.
on the Infinity Bros store, merch store.
I just like the duck.
That's a good one. All right, 2 other categories here. So these are a little bit looser. They're kind of a little bit more, whatever we feel like throwing in there. Infinity Gems is kind of just whatever doesn't fit in the other categories. And then Bob Kane's is our worst thing of 2024. We're just going to go through those one by one. We're not going to,
We're not gonna do the
rotate
list of them,
do the
or
whole
like we're not gonna
list. Yeah.
snake draft it. Okay.
Yes, not going to snake draft it. So what do you guys want to do first? Bob Kane's or the Infinity Gems?
That's a good question.
Bob Kane's.
Bob Kane's?
Bob
Bob Kane's.
Bob Kane's. Here we go.
Negativity on the way first.
Max really wants to do the Bob Kane's, so he's going to go first.
A lot to say apparently.
Yeah, get the bad out of the way.
What is the
Okay,
worst thing of 2024, Max?
Well, you want me to go from like the worst thing to like, it wasn't that bad.
Like, I mean, how we normally do things, like 6 all the way up to
Yeah,
one.
start with and go to the worst.
Yeah, right.
Number 6 for me is Superman. The flying internet reaction they had to the clip of Superman in the trailer. I'm like, are we?
Oh, the internet reaction. Okay,
yeah, I couldn't understand why people were upset about it.
Makes no sense.
I never got it. You'll hear me talk about that more. Number 5 is Echo's handling of Kingpin. Number 4 is all the transitions in the MCU and just how one day they got one answer, another day they got another. Jonathan Majors, all that crazy stuff. Number 3 is Sony doing everything but releasing Beyond the Spider-Verse. Literally, they've made all these movies.
Yeah,
they tried
that
to
makes sense.
them,
Literally,
and
3 of the things on my list are Sony projects.
and then all the bad things that they were saying were like, oh yeah, this has been delayed, or the directors are blah. And I'm just like, you have one job, get this right. Number 2 for me is Batman: The Cape Crusader show. Huge disappointment.
Really?
From my
I've
perspective.
heard nothing but good
Really?
things about that.
I did not enjoy it. I thought
Dang.
Bruce Timm was doing some different stuff that just wasn't for me.
I've not watched that yet. I really want to watch it. I'm not going to let what Max
I didn't think
says.
it was-
Okay,
Like,
okay.
it
That's just my opinion.
No.
It wasn't as good as the animated show, but it was like fine.
I just
thought.
was disappointed. I was
Max,
Yeah.
Max thinks anyone can play
I hate
Batman,
your
anyone can play the
opinion.
Joker. It's terrible. Yeah.
Number
Well,
one
I
hated
just
show. I hated X-Men because
No, we all hate it, but
animation
it's weird how
stuff.
the top show was from, and like everybody wanted to watch it because of me. It's weird how that happens. And then Agatha all along.
Of course
that's
that's on your
number
list.
1. Yeah, that's it.
The Agatha all. Okay, I can't
number one.
really speak
Agatha
because I
all
know a
along
lot
was
of the bad
okay.
stuff.
It
Max
was
has
fine.
not watched.
WandaVision hurt
You only hate it because
more than-
WandaVision.
You wanted my list. I gave you my
Let
list.
things go.
WandaVision hurt him 4 years ago, and he can't let it go.
There's a list.
That's actually exactly what we expect from Max, because Max won't actually watch a really bad movie. We know this. He hears that it's bad from Rotten Tomatoes or something, and he won't go.
I don't know.
Max,
He saw
I
the.
should just
He
go ahead and
also
watch
he saw the
Smile.
Batman Superman movies.
True.
That's
Woof.
hilarious.
That's tough. That's a real tough. That's tough.
Oh, sad.
All right, I'm gonna go. Actually, Mark and I should go last since we have. Wait, you had a full list, dude. Does anybody else have a full list of Bob Kane's?
I got a full list.
Everybody
Yeah.
got a full list? Okay, never mind then.
I had help with one right before the
Infinity
show.
Gems is the one that we all didn't have a full list on.
I
No,
got a full
I got a
list.
full list. Well,
You
I
were the
said
one that
asked
said.
us.
I literally
The
asked
only
if we
thing
had
that I
a full
raised our
list,
hands.
and Mark and I were the only
we're
ones
good
that
now.
raised our hands.
We
I
just
raised
had to.
my hand,
we just
but
had
you didn't acknowledge
time.
me, and I was very sad about it. But I didn't bring it
Okay.
up.
Well, we didn't
Now I'm
acknowledge
gonna.
the Tribal King.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead with my Bob Kane's on. Number 6, I lumped in everything that I didn't watch that everybody told me was bad, and I really only have 2 things on there: Umbrella Academy season 4 and Rebel Moon Part 2, because I watched all the lead ups to those, the first 3 seasons of Umbrella Academy and Rebel Moon Part 1, and they were. I mean, Umbrella Academy was good to start off. Like,
Remember when
just
Umbrella
kinda got
Academy was
worse and
good?
worse. Right? I know. It's
Golly,
so
those were
sad.
the days.
So sad, but I didn't watch those. But from how bad they were received and how Mark tells me Umbrella Academy is like a 0.5 out of 6, I didn't watch that. So that's what I have for my number 6. Number 5,
Low praise.
Number 5, I have Acolyte. Really wasn't like, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't good, and it was a huge disappointment. Is why it makes my list. It was like a lot of hype for that show, and it just did not turn out how we all thought it would, unfortunately. So my number 4 is Venom 3. Did watch it. It was not good. It's still entertaining, but man, if you're looking to end a franchise on something, like, you want to go out with a bang, Venom 3 kind of went out with a whimper. Just wasn't. It was probably, I don't know. Venom 2 is bad though. Like, Venom 2 is straight up bad. So I don't know if it's as bad as Venom 2, but it was unfortunate. Joker 2 also is on my list, number 3.
Oh god, it's so bad.
It was bad,
Goodness.
but
Woof.
I think
Oh.
I had bought like the worst expectations ever going into it, because I thought it was going to be horrible.
Yeah.
The reviews all said it was going to be
I
horrible,
mean,
or that it was
you're-
horrible. And it was it's not a 0 or a 1 out of 6 for me, but it's still pretty
probably
bad.
to put it into perspective. You like terrorize yourself by watching Venom and like Kraven the
watched a
Hunter
lot
and
of bad
Madam Web and all
movies.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
You watch all those. Like
I watched a lot of
Joker
bad
2
movies.
probably wasn't as bad.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like it's one of those things where it's a totally unnecessary sequel. Why did they make it into a musical? It made 0 sense. It was stupid.
It's so stupid.
Dumb. Number
You
2.
can put Lady Gaga in a movie and not make her sing, guys. Like, that's fine.
Epic fail. Epic
Are we
fail.
sure?
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous, Jarrett.
Number 2 is
Yeah.
Craven, and Craven I put on the list more so because I'm kind of fed up with Sony as
The cereal. Cereal's pretty good.
Craven. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot that was a cereal.
Craven cereal's solid.
But I watched the first 8 minutes on YouTube because it was released inexplicably before the movie came out for some reason. And I don't know why Sony still is making movies, dude. It's rough. So Craven is number 2. My number 1, though, is Madam Web. Like, legit bottom 5 worst superhero movie of all time. Honestly, I think. Like, it's contests for worst superhero movie of all time in my mind. It is horrible. It is kind of fun to watch with people to make fun of. It's borderline like one of those movies that even with friends is a rough watch. So it's bad. It's real bad. So yeah, Madam Web is my number 1 thing for sure. All right, Mark, what was your list? Your Bob Kane's.
My Bob Kane's. Okay, it includes Borderlands. Awful. I'm definitely one that's like, hey, don't listen to the critics. Go watch it, make your own opinion. It might have been right with this one. Might have been spot on. The Minecraft trailer, thought it looked awful. So
Gosh, it looks
I don't know
terrible.
what,
It does look bad.
maybe I'm
What are
not
they
just-
doing?
Maybe I'm just not liking Jack Black anymore. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I hope not. I hope the tide is not turning.
It's
against
just the
Jack Black.
direction. Yeah, I hope not. But yeah. What are they
I'm
doing?
gonna throw the Hawk Girl under the bus.